evening. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we come this evening, Lord, just to say thank you for all the blessings that you continue to bestow upon us, Lord. Lord, we ask that you bless this meeting, you bless our mayor, our council, our city as a whole, Lord. We need unification and restoration, and these and all other blessings, we give you all the praise, the honor, and the glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Roll call.
Mayor Nolan.
Present.
Councilwoman Wiley.
Present.
Councilman Oden has an excused absence. He is out of town and wanted everyone to know. Councilwoman Mitchell.
Present.
Councilwoman Howard.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Present.
And Councilman Chisholm.
Present.
We have 6 present and 1 absent, and we do have a quorum.
Great. So I don't have to worry about voting tonight. Everybody had a chance to look at the agenda? Any additions? We already added under consent agreement, city attorney invoice. And anything else we need to add? Delete? Okay.
We'll talk about the attorney.
We had that under consent agenda. That's B. So do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Been properly moved in second. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. It passes. Before we start with the presentations, Mary McClendon from Wayne County Commissioner Glenn Anderson's office is here to update us.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, to the Treasurer, to all the dignitaries here today, and to the fine citizens of the city of Inkster. I bring you greetings from the office of Wayne County Commissioner Glenn Anderson. I want to give you a few updates. There'll be a Schools Out party being sponsored by Commissioner Anderson, and it's for children under 13. They're all welcome, and it's free of charge. And it's Saturday, June the 17th at Skateland West, which is at 37550 Cherry Hill Road in Westland. And it's all free. Everything's free except for your food. You have to buy your own food and your own drinks. But all your skates and all your skating paraphernalia will be free. And you have to RSVP. I have flyers for anyone that would like a flyer. But you need to RSVP to District 12 at waynecounty.com. And the phone number is also 313-224-8855. All are welcome. Now, all children need to be accompanied by an adult. You have to have a chaperone, and that chaperone cannot have more than 6 children. So children can you got it, you got it. So we're going to have a good time. School is out, and if you got some good grades, it's a good time to celebrate. So don't forget that. That's Saturday, June the 17th, the skating party.
What time?
Also, it begins at 12 noon until 3 p.m. And a free birthday party at Skateland West will be raffled off. So somebody might be able to have their own birthday party at Skateland. So be sure to be there. It's just a good time to celebrate school being out. I have flyers for anyone who's interested. As always, I have some of the citizens' guides for you as well to connect you with Wayne County. Also, the Commissioner's newsletter for spring and summer will be coming out within the next couple of weeks. So we do not have your email address. Be sure you can give it to me tonight, and we will make sure that you get one sent directly to your email. And if not, you can send that information to District 12 at waynecounty.com and give the office your information. And we will make sure that you get one of the newsletters so you'll stay connected with what's happening in District 12. And by the way, that skating party is only for individuals within District number 12. And that's Inkster, Westland, and Garden City. We want to make sure that all the District 12 individuals are taken care of and that they will have a good time. Also, there's hazardous waste collection in Westland coming up on August the 12th. So if you have some hazardous waste that needs to be thrown out, because it's not easy to dispose of it, on August the 12th at 8 a.m. until 2, It'll be at Westland Shopping Center, and it'll be behind J.C. Penney's. So you can take your hazardous waste there, and we all know examples of hazardous waste, and that would be paint, floor wax, furniture polish, nail polish, glue, batteries, fluorescent bulbs, lawn fertilizer, antifreeze, just so many things that are hazardous. You just can't throw them out in your regular garbage. So that's just a good time for you to do it on August the 12th, and that's a Wayne County hazardous waste collection there for you. And if I can provide any assistance to you while I'm here today, I'll be more than happy to take that back to the commissioner. He'd be more than happy to know about it and to assist in any way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That is funny.
I love her.
Okay, presentations. We have Mr. Bivens' lowering of natural gas cost presentation. Can't wait to see this one. Come on up.
I'm going to step in from this
Oh, you are?
here, yeah.
Oh, I was all excited for Mr. Bivens.
He'll be up next. Good evening, council and members of the audience. This presentation is real brief. I provided a three-page document to you all, and it's really, as we kind of look at ways that we can save and cut costs across the city. We've had some discussions with one of the energy companies in the area, Constellation Energy. Currently, our natural gas to heat our building and city facilities is provided by the former MishCon, now DTE Energy. There's, as part of that merger between the old MishCon and DTE, in order to keep competitive rates, a company was allowed to come in and purchase effectively below the rate at which DTE offers customers such as ourselves. The first page you'll see currently, it shows that currently over the natural gas market is pretty much right now at what I would consider to be historical lows. And we've been offered an opportunity to essentially lock in a rate. So right now, with the rates being where they are, Constellation can offer us a fixed rate that, as long as these rates stay where they are, assuming that they don't go down any lower, we would potentially see some savings if the market goes back up as it historically has been. Again, keeping in mind that currently the rates are at an historical low. So the arrangement would be a situation where we enter into an agreement with Constellation Energy, which we would be able to purchase, again, on a fixed rate, energy cost at a rate that is lower than what we've been historically purchasing it from DTE. On the second page, you'll see a listing of the accounts that we have with DTE, and along with kind of our usage at each of these. And this this page number 2 shows usage based on which they refer to as CCF. I believe that's some type of metric that's used to measure the usage of gas. But you can see we use about 132,000 of these units over a year. And this is kind of, based on, obviously, one of the big factors is going to be weather. Most of our gas usage comes, the high times come during the cold weather months. So this number can fluctuate. But again, this is kind of serving as the basis for which we would estimate exactly what our potential cost savings would be. Then I would turn you to page 3. You'll see at the top of the page that 13,270 figure. Basically, we converted it from thousands into metrics for purposes of the page here. And we expect that you'll see the rate that Constellation would be offering us is $2.40. Currently, we're paying roughly about $3.70 with DTE. Again, keep in mind this would be a fixed rate with Constellation, so if that rate went lower, we would miss out on those savings with DTE, but we would not be subject to, if the rates were to go up. And I think given the fact that rates are so low, we have a high likelihood of really acquiring some savings. When we run the numbers out based on kind of average usage over the last couple of years, the high amount of savings that would be projected is about $17,000. I think, a more realistic figure somewhere in the neighborhood of $12,000 to $15,000. And it's pretty straightforward. We would just transfer our gas services from DTE to Constellation, and again, lock in this rate with the expectation that we could see some savings from our month-to-month bills. Questions?
Any questions?
So this is a third-party company then?
Constellation is a national company. I know they're pretty big on the East Coast, but they kind of entered into this market some years ago. Again, when that merger occurred between the old Detroit Edison and the old Michcon, and the Public Service Commission, in order to really kind of maintain some competition, they just wanted to have another competitor in the market. So they afforded this company some contracts, and there are some other communities in the area are part of this program. I've had the chance to speak with one of them. I'll be getting some more information I've provided a couple other references, so I'll be continuing to do some research, and wanted to present this to you, just to provide you with the information as we move forward with our research.
Would they still be operating with the same, within that same easements as DET?
Yeah, it wouldn't impact any of that. This is just simply the service and the purchase of the natural gas.
Yes.
Basically, they're buying from them and they're trying to.
Because they're able to acquire it essentially at a wholesale rate is effectively the way Constellation works, and then they're offering it from a retail standpoint a little lower than which DTE offers that at retail on the gas side.
Say if we went this route with them and we tried it out for 12 months and we said, nope, this is not for us, God forbid, is there any type of penalty or anything to switch back?
No, so the contract, and we haven't brought the contract forth. I think there would be some length of time. Initially, they were talking a 2 to 3 year timeline, but that would be up to the decision of the body. I think the thing that I again found most attractive was just given where rates are now, and the fact that I think our risk would be somewhat minimized because it's less likely that they are going to go down, and more likely that they will stay the same or go up.
So the contract would mean that we would avoid an increase.
So if rates went up, we would be able to maintain that lower rate. Correct.
Any other questions?
How long is this rate good for?
It would be potentially for 2 to 3 years, depending upon what we agree to with the with Constellation on the final contract.
And at that end point you're talking about, if it's lower, we can get that lower rate?
We certainly could. We could switch back to DTE. We could then lock into whatever the market rates are at that time.
Any other questions?
Is this offered to residents as well, or just?
I don't believe this program is offered to residents. I'll verify that, but I don't. I'm not aware of that being a residential program. Okay.
So basically, they're just like consuming energy. But they're natural gas and they offer to residents, but they do sort of the same thing.
But I thought Consumer Energy had their own market.
Another company like DTE.
Yeah, but they get gas from the same source.
They compete with DTE.
Yeah.
Consumers Energy. This company is within DTE.
Right.
Everybody okay? All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
And now we're going to have the streetlights presentation from Jerome Bivens. This better be good.
Are you going to get him in your car?
Why? Because I didn't do this.
Because you ducked out of the first one, that's why.
I wasn't supposed to. Never mind. Thank you, Mr. Karen. That was an excellent.
Oh, it's a team effort.
Yeah.
Right.
I got the hardest job. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Good evening. Your audience. I'm here to bring you guys an update on the distressed community grant we got awarded for streetlights for the city of Inkster. We were awarded $325,000 from the state of Michigan for the distressed community to put streetlights in the city of Inkster. And we have been working, Mr. Carrington, myself, and Ms. Kane, the representative from DET, have been working to come up with the figures and numbers. And what you have before you at your PlayStation, if you turn to page 2, you'll see a map of the city of Inkster. Every red dot you see on that map is a street light that will be replaced under the current grant that we received. So if you look, it's about 80 to 90% of the city street lights will be replaced. So all neighborhood street lights will definitely be replaced.
So you already started some stuff.
We are still in the process of finalizing this with Mr. Carrington, myself, and Ms. Kane. Our final step is we will meet with the mayor, lay out the plan that we have. We met with Mr. Nate Ford, got his input from community development, and looking at doing some lights on Michigan Avenue. So once this is finalized, we will be coming forward to mayor and council for approval to move forward with this. And if you flip over to page 1, it gives you a breakdown. I did this last year, and I did Cherry Hill. I did Cherry Hill from Inkster Road to Beach Daily, and I did all of Inkster Road with LED lights. And the breakdown on this issue, our savings from this project would be $138,552.35 a year. So it's a tremendous saving for the city. But like I said, I just wanted to get this in front of you for informational purpose tonight so you can understand what me, Mr. Carrington, and Deborah Kane have been working on behind the scenes. And this will be coming forward to you once we meet with the mayor and get approval from him to finalize these figures and numbers where actually the lights will go. So now I entertain any questions if you have any.
How long will this process take?
We will have this signed before June the 30th. The project will be done before November.
Are these the same lights that's on Inkster Road right now?
LED, yes, sir.
Will they replace the ones over in Annapolis?
Annapolis Point, we talked about that.
Yeah, because we have all those custom lights over there.
Yeah, and that's, I don't believe it's part, I don't believe it's...
Currently, and again, we haven't finalized
Right.
the layout, but currently I don't believe that that's not included in the...
Customized lights were not part of this project.
Okay.
You know, these are strictly DET lights. Those were customized at our request.
Okay, when you said you're going to do the residence as well, that's sort of residential.
Yes, yeah, but they had to cut, like in front of City Hall here, those are customized street lights.
Okay.
Right. We're just looking at the basic street light. Yeah. What I think is most significant about this is we will get the whole neighborhood.
How many total? How many streetlights we have in the city of Inkster?
1,713.
Cool.
I just got a question.
Right here.
The nice lights on Michigan Avenue at Inkster Road, would those be replaced?
We had a meeting.
They're so pretty.
Our
We need
last
more.
meeting with Mr. with DTE and Mr. Carrington and myself, we invited Mr. Ford to the meeting, and that was one of the issues he brought up So we are looking at going from Beach Daily to, I believe it's Justine or Riverview on Michigan Avenue, and changing out those lights on both sides. But like I said, we're in the planning stages now, and the mayor will have to finalize this before we bring it before you guys. But that is one of the options.
Any other questions?
100 that you're saving every year, where is that money just going into the general fund?
This is a general fund item,
So,
yes.
Next year.
Right.
oh, there won't be a next year.
Anybody else? All right, thank you, Mr. Bivens.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Really? Really? This side gonna join with this side. Oh, man. All right, under public hearing. A public hearing on the proposed City of Inkster fiscal year 2017-2018 budget beginning July 1st, 2017 through June 30th, 2018, and the property millage rate proposed to be levied and the water and sewer rates. Do we have a motion on this? To open this?
Make a motion to open public hearing.
Support.
Been properly moved, supported, discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The hearing is open. Who is coming up first to talk about the proposed budget? Denise? Denise? Well, if you want.
Yeah, let me.
We'll start with Darren. We'll start with Darren. Since it's a public hearing, he'll kind of lay out what we're doing. I'm sure all of you read the whole budget. It's on the website. All 56 pages.
So, good evening once again, Council, members of the audience. Wanted to kind of lead off the public hearing just to provide everyone with an overview. Thank you. Provide everyone with an. Hello?
Bottom.
To provide. Okay, I don't think we're working here.
Red light on?
Nope.
No, I don't
Batteries died.
got it yet.
We need to amend the budget to include new microphones, I think, here. So, again, it's public hearing. I just wanted to provide an overview. Working with the mayor, we put together this recommended budget that's now before the council. Obviously, tonight is an opportunity for the public to provide feedback and ask any questions, but wanted to, again, kind of walk through where we, as an administration, are in terms of this budget and the city as a whole from a financial standpoint. Just an overview, as everyone I'm sure is aware, this is really the first budget approval process since the city emerged from the consent agreement last June. The city continues to face some financial challenges that we're working on a daily basis to address, as well as having some limited resources. There's a bit of good news. We're now beginning to see some improvement in the property values, particularly residential property values across the city, and with property taxes being such an important part of the fiscal budget, this is an important development for the city. Again, under the mayor's direction, this budget is really trying to continue the city's fiscal responsible actions that the city took not only to emerge from the consent agreement, but since that time that the city did emerge. The top line expenses and revenues of this budget, one of the key things we wanted to make sure that the expenses were in line with the revenues. We did not want to be running into a deficit where the projected expenses were exceeding the projected revenues. So we really took steps to ensure that revenues and expenses were in line. And throughout the budget, there are a number of things that are being funded, but I just wanted to highlight a few of the key priorities to really try and make critical improvements and to really improve the value that we're transferring to the citizens. One is in the police department, in hopes of trying to increase street patrols and the resources that we can dedicate to street patrols. We have included in the budget some new civilian staff members that would potentially free up current police uniform resources to patrol the streets. Parks and Recreation, we have some increased staffing there and building improvements. And then within public services, we have a number of quality of life things, cleanups, board ups, and increase the frequency of grass cutting across the city. So big picture, as I mentioned, taxable value, the property values of the city have been in decline for a number of years. You'll see here the taxable value of the city has been declining. You know, it's a good thing that I really feel that those things have both the decrease in assessed values as well as taxable values have essentially bottomed out. We're projecting effectively a leveling, level growth in terms of for fiscal year 2018 compared to the current fiscal year that we're in. So while it's not necessarily an improvement, the decline, the rate of decline has decreased, and I expect that going into next fiscal year that the decline itself will decrease. So that's one of the major things from a budgetary standpoint. As you know, one of the big things for the city has been the fund balance. That's effectively the accumulated deficits or surpluses from the budgets, the annual budgets. As you know, a number of years ago, the city had a fairly significant negative fund balance. A lot of steps were taken, a lot of sacrifices were made in order for the city to claw out of that, and we want to make sure that we remain fiscally strong. So on the far right, you see under the mayor's proposed budget, the recommended budget from the mayor, we project at the end of the fiscal year for 2018, that budget as adopted would result in a general fund balance of $2.45 million. So again, trying to make sure we remain fiscally responsible and fiscally strong. In addition to the general fund, there are a number of other funds that are in the mayor's recommended budget. In general, all funds are projecting fund balances that meet or exceed the city's policy as it relates to fund balance. And I just want to briefly highlight a couple of these funds. One is the Recreation Fund. As I mentioned earlier, there are some additional resources being placed in there for increased staffing. We have the Water Fund. We've taken steps to really start addressing both our operational and capital needs. Included with the Water Fund budget is the proposed water rate, and detailed information of that has been provided. We are submitting a requested increase of approximately 8.65%, which will leave the water rates per unit at $14.94. Currently, we're at about $13.76 for the current fiscal year, so that is a slight increase. The Garbage and Rubbish Fund, we're proposing a fee of $146. That's broken out between the summer and winter tax bills. Currently, we're at about $162, so that's a slight decrease in that fund. And then I would also note that some of the other funds, Brownfield, TIFA, and the other debt service-related funds that are involved with the payment of the bonds, these funds are continuing to require pretty significant subsidies from the general fund. So we're in a situation where we're having to redirect general fund dollars to these other funds in order to cover the debt service requirements that these funds have. So that's again, the overview. As I mentioned, I think we tried to be responsible in the approach that we took with this budget. We obviously were not able to fund all of the requests that were presented to the mayor, but just in terms of balancing the revenues that we think we'll be able to receive and expect to receive next fiscal year, along with certain priorities, we presented this recommended budget. So thank you, and obviously if anyone has any questions, we welcome those.
Okay, this is a public hearing, so you're welcome to come up to the podium and ask a question, make a comment, both. You can come on up.
This is probably going to be a useless comment, but I'm going to make it anyhow. Is there any way...
Could you state your name, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. Diane Denise Dobson. Okay, is there any way that these absentee landlords could have their taxes checked? Because I can guarantee you the greater majority of them do not pay the taxes on those properties. Money and cash are changing under the table. So if there's any way that the council can do anything to just make sure that when they're renting out these houses, that they have occupancies brought up to code and pay their fair taxes.
Unfortunately, we definitely do that. They're supposed to have C of Os. If they lease it out and once it comes to our attention, we require them, we write them a ticket. As far as the taxes go, we can monitor. We know when people don't pay taxes, but we can't force them to pay taxes.
No, but what okay, this might be off the wall, but I feel, which does not make it right, that there are a lot of these landlords that are not going through proper channels about the money they're receiving from their tenants. Therefore, that money is not written any place to be taxed fairly.
No, that money's not taxed. Property taxes are based on the value of the home.
But, you know, I'm just thinking about taxes in general, I guess. See, I told you it would probably be foolish, but that is a concern I have.
Oh.
But thank you for listening. Because I want every taxable dollar to come to our city.
Of course.
I'm 65, I'm not going anywhere, and I wish I was rich because that money would be right here. Thank you.
Great, I hope you're rich too. Everybody remember, this is a public hearing on the budget, so we kind of should be talking about the budget.
I just have a couple of things.
Could you state your name for the record, please?
Larry Botley. I just have a couple of things here. We're going to have a census coming up pretty soon, and I'm looking at the budget, our city budget, and I'm looking at the situation of are we going to have an increase in taxes or what have you. We don't have a school system, so I can't see where our property taxes would go up. Most of the folks in Inkster are on fixed income. We don't have too many people working in factories like we used to. And I was just looking at the budget. I was going through some old city council agendas several years back, and I'm looking at the legal fees for the city of Inkster. Is this fee here, this $31,743.98, is this a quarterly fee?
Monthly.
It's a monthly fee? And I remember when Spokane was a city attorney, the bills were always itemized, and it was about $9,000 or $10,000. Highest bill, I hit the ceiling when it was $11,000. So I don't know what is happening. But another piece to this is that we're talking about our tax base, Inkster's tax base. We haven't had a tax base in the city for quite some time, and I don't know if you all have gotten around the city, especially in the southwest section. There used to be commercial buildings and houses, and I mean, and Michigan Avenue looked like a sewer compared to other cities. So I'm wondering how our taxes should be lower rather than going up.
Any other comments, questions?
Good evening. Just checking, based on the website, it's still the old numbers that, not the ones we talked about at the budget meetings?
The amended budget?
Yes, so you're speaking from the study sessions with council? So The recommended budget is the one that's still on the website. That's where we are in the process. The changes that we had discussed will be potentially a part of the council-approved budget.
And that won't be tonight, that'll be in 2 weeks?
That'll be in 2 weeks, correct?
Okay.
Yep.
Just want to double check. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on the budget? Just for the record, the taxes are not going up this year. Taxable value is slightly going up for our homes. Sorry. We received something maybe 4 weeks ago. It wasn't a tax bill, it was an assessment. And it told you, at least my house, it went up a couple $100. So, which is a good thing, our property values are going up. You know. So obviously, as our values go up, we'll pay more to the city because our properties will be worth more. But the tax rate is not going up. Any other comments, questions? Come on.
I just want to say, if we don't pay good taxes, we can't have good service.
That sounds like a commercial. Okay. Anything else? Anybody? Okay, we have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close public hearing.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. It passes. All right. Consent agenda.
Can I make a motion to accept the consent agenda with one correction?
Okay.
That's at the last meeting that you opened the council meeting. I was going to open the council meeting.
Aha. I'm glad you caught that.
That's any.
Okay. And then we have two
Any
sections.
complaints? They will bring them to me.
We have A and B. We have the minutes, and then we also have the city attorney's invoice that we just spoke about. So, okay. So was that a motion?
Yeah. Make a motion to accept the agenda as is with the one correction.
Any support? Probably moved and supported. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. It passes. Okay, boards and commissions.
Chair, I'd like to recommend Mr. Roosevelt Stubbs to the Commission on Aging. I'm doing a recommendation today. I had to get his resume so we can vote it up in this council meeting.
Okay, thank you. So be looking for that information before next meeting.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to have appointed Ms. Shirley Hankerson to the Parks and Recreation Commission. Her information is on file, the application and her resume.
Okay. And since we did receive that before the meeting, we're ready to vote on that, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so...
I move the appointment of Shirley Hankerson to the Parks and Recreation Commission.
Support.
I'll yield to my colleague.
Been properly moved and supported. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Passes. We have any other nominations? Still looking for a pension board member.
I was asked to nominate Jean Liddell to Commission on Aging.
Do we have, okay. So,
And a concern that Denise said she was fine.
okay. Now, so we haven't received her information yet?
Told her to do it, she said she'd do it.
Now, we have one spot, correct? So we have two nominations for one spot, so we'll vote on both of them at the next meeting as long as we receive their information before. Okay? So you're going to follow, she's one of your residents?
Yes.
Well, I appreciate you following up, getting that information. Any other appointments, boards and commissions? Okay, we'll move on. Ordinances, go ahead.
A second reading on a proposed amendment to the City of Inkster Code of Ordinance for amending the word city manager to mayor in all the ordinances per the passage of the new city charter.
Okay, new business.
Consideration and approval of a proposed amendment to the City of Inkster Code of Ordinance for amending the word city manager to mayor in all the ordinances per the passage of the new city charter.
Do you have a motion?
So moved. Oh, no, that's not the way to do it. I move that we approve the amendments to the City of Inkster Code of Ordinances for amending the word city manager to mayor in all the ordinances per the passage of the new city charter.
Support. Been properly moved and supported. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Consideration and approval to open city IT services for RFP.
I move that we consider and approve to open city IT services for RFP.
Support.
Been properly moved and supported. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Consideration and approval to accept the State of Michigan Department of State and Wayne County, City of Inkster Help America Vote Act grant agreement for voting system hardware and the purchase of a high-speed absentee voter counter. Move funds from 101-215-80100 professional consultant to 101-215-977-000 equipment.
What she just said. I move the approval of a proposed amendment to the City of Inkster Code of Ordinance for amending the word, oh, I'm sorry, wrong thing. Approval to accept the State of Michigan Department of State and Wayne County, City of Inkster Help America Vote Act grant agreement for voting system hardware and the purchase of a high-speed absentee voter counter. Move funds from 101-215-801.000 professional consultant to 101-215-977-000 equipment. Thank you.
Support.
Properly moved and supported. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. It passes.
Consideration and approval for the grant administration to have the ability to change, alter work rules and schedules consistent with the Fair Labor Standards Act.
I move that we consider to grant the administration to have the ability to change or alter work rules and schedules consistent with the Fair Labor Standards Act.
Support. Been properly moved and supported. Discussion?
Discussion. I want to have the ability to change and alter work rules and schedules. Listen, I heard the discussion earlier, but I want to know if there's a standard for the changes and alterations.
Yes. The Fair Labor Standards Act allows municipalities to set the work rules for either a 7-day period of time all the way up to a 30-day period of time.
Right.
So that's the flexibility you have, but we, as a policymaker, we have to create that policy. So you're giving the administration the power to change it. Right now, it's on the 7 days a week, 40-hour week.
Okay, I got you. I went to other things, but that's fine.
Okay. Any other discussion on that? Okay. All those, okay, no discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Now, no, we read this like we normally read any settlement.
To vote in accordance with to consideration and approval to vote in accordance with the vote that was taken in closed session. Lieutenant Jeffrey.
Just say the last name.
I always say the last name.
All right, go ahead.
Twarzik.
Motion?
Motion that we accept the approval that was made in closed session.
Okay, was that proper, David?
Yes, that's fine. It's already out there.
It's been properly moved and supported. Discussion?
And he was okay with it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Okay, public participation. We have a lot of them tonight. Deborah Owens. Oh, you're good? Okay. Larry Motley.
But, well, gave it to you?
Just a few things. I missed the council meeting, the last council meeting, and there was only, I came and got the agenda, and on the agenda it was discussing about rezoning a piece of my area over in the southwest section to a sale and manufacture and sell drugs on Cherry Street. And one of the things that bothers me so much is that all my life, and I know President Ronald Reagan's wife even had the thing out, say no to drugs. Drugs have inundated our community and is destroying the African American community. With all the murders and shootings and the things that's happening, we have to do something. We've got to stop the drugs. We've got to stop it. Drugs are illegal. Marijuana places are illegal. There are three legal marijuana shops in Detroit. Detroit is 20 times larger than the city of Inkster, and they only have 3, if you read last week's newspaper. And they're trying to get it on the ballot to have drugs legalized in the state of Michigan. Drugs are not legalized now, although you may hear to the contrary because everybody's on it. People are hiring everywhere. Ford's, General Motors, Chrysler, everybody, but our kids can't pass the drug screen. So we walk the street and everybody's intimidated, and you cannot run a city budget on drugs. I don't care what you say. You cannot run a city budget on drugs, and our property values are not going to go up because no one is moving to Inkster. Kids are moving out. People that have families are not moving to Inkster. You'd be insane to move to Inkster, and you have no schools. You know, I remember years ago in the South when our children had to be bused 100 miles away from home. Slave children were sold into slavery from one plantation to another. And it's the same thing going back again. And we've got to do something. We need a mayor and a council that can stand up. And we need the ministers in this city that will stand up and say, I hate Larry Motley, but he's right on drugs. Morally, he's right on drugs. We don't need any more drug places in Inkster. And, you know, you all have got to do something. You know, I don't know what your agenda is, and I think I do know it under the rogue type agenda, but you've got to stop it. You've got to stand up for our people, and you've got to stop these drugs. Now, you know, I'm at my point's end. I'm not going to leave Inkster. My wife liked living here, and she liked the safety of Inkster when we started the block club, but it's not safe anymore.
Mr. Miley, your 3 minutes are up.
So I'm just saying we need a new mayor and a new council, and we've got to start acting like civilized people and get drugs out of our city.
Thank you, Mr. Motley. Deborah Elliott.
This isn't a complaint. I came here tonight to make a public request on behalf of the staff of the company I work for, Saints Incorporated. Saints Incorporated was incorporated in 1978 to assist persons with developmental disabilities reach their highest potential of community membership and personal independence. At present, the corporation provides specialized residential services to 24 community homes and apartments in western Wayne County and 2 in Washington. The corporation was founded by Paul and Victoria Kennedy, who have devoted the past 40 years of their lives to this endeavor. Over these 40 years, they have served hundreds of persons with disabilities. Some are still being served in a group home setting, some have been able to return home to their families, and some have achieved partial or full independence. All have lived life to their fullest extent, due in great measure to the professional caring, stewardship, and personal ethical example set by Mr. and Mrs. Kennedy. Mr. and Mrs. Kennedy have received recognition for their service and advocacy from Community Living Services, Inc., Wayne Center, Wayne County Senior Citizen Services, Michigan Assisted Living Association, and maintained CARF accreditation, an international accrediting body, for 15 consecutive years. They are also fine, upstanding people to work for, and we, the administrative and home staff of Saints Incorporated, are planning a dedication in their honor on May 12, 2017 in Inkster, Michigan, at the site of their first community facility. It should be noted as well that Saints Incorporated hires locally and promotes from within, and the corporation is possibly one of the larger employers of local adults in this area. In addition, our EAO program, which is a weekly community inclusion program, has been a dedicated volunteer with the Inkster Meals on Wheels program, delivering meals to Inkster seniors without interruption for the past 21 years. We are writing to ask for a City of Inkster commendation to present to the Kennedys as part of our presentation on May 12th. We're thanking you in advance, and we'd be especially thrilled if someone from the council could come in person and join us in providing a commendation.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay. I'll write the exact date and time on this, and then can I leave this with the clerk or something?
Right here.
Sure.
Okay. I don't have it written down.
All right, we have Officer Lebo. Thought she was walking out.
Good evening, everybody. Mayor, council, citizens. Got a lot of exciting announcements tonight. First off, we're going to start with our bake sale again. So Wednesday, May 10th, this is going to be a quarterly thing, by the way. Wednesday, May 10th, we're going to have another bake sale in the police department lobby from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., presented by the Commission on Aging with lots of delicious baked goods. The proceeds from this bake sale will go towards the purchase of a snow cone machine for our youth movie nights. Which leads me to my second announcement, the first ever movie night at the police department. Super excited about this one. So on Friday, May 26th, around 8 p.m., we're going to be showing Finding Dory. Through fundraising efforts, we were able to purchase a home theater system, fresh pop popcorn machine, and everything. So we're saying, in the parking lot of the police department, Friday, May 26th, please bring a chair or a blanket to sit on. We are going to be outside, so be sure to dress for the weather. Not sure what it's going to be like yet, but we'll be watching Finding Dory, and it's going to be lots and lots of fun. Please, please, please come out. One last thing, we have recently acquired a prescription drug box from the Detroit Women's Mental Health Authority in Detroit. It's going to be placed in the police department lobby, and it will be able to take in old prescription drugs, unwanted prescription drugs, to stop people from flushing them or throwing them in the trash, and also stop teenagers from getting their hands on them. So please, bring them to the police department. We're open 24 hours. Don't even talk to any of us. Just go over to the box, drop them in, good to go. All right? Thank you for your time.
Officer Lebo. Yes, sir. Councilwoman Howard has a...
Would that include EpiPens that's outdated?
Unfortunately, at this time, it is just prescription pills.
Okay.
But I will look into a resource for EpiPens for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Shirley Hankerson.
Good evening, Mayor, Council,
Good evening.
and citizens. I'd just like to say, for the last 4 years, I have been trying to stop street drugs in our city. And I'd just like to know if our citizen that complains about the medical drugs that's being purchased in our city, if he's gotten any of our citizens in his area to try and help to stop the combat of drugs in his area. I don't ever see him at any other meetings saying anything positive about what he's doing to help move our city forward. I always hear what he has to say about what he did in the past, but if we don't come together as a city and unite to stop the street drugs that are taking over our children and young adults, we'll never make a dent in moving our city forward. And those are the things I think he forgets. He just want to come up here and bash and be negative. Do something. You can always say something, but if you're not doing something to help move the city forward, why bother to come up here with all this negativity again? So I would just like to see him one time come in here and say something positive and say, here's what my citizens and my neighbors and my community is doing to help stop drugs in our area. And I don't see that. everyone else that's sitting around me, I see them at different task force meetings, health meetings, doing something to try and help move our city forward. Coming to NAN meetings, NAACP meetings. I never see them anywhere, but here on Mondays, every Monday, with a complaint. I'd like to see him once come forward and say, hey, this is what we're doing. Would you like to join us? We have district-wide meetings in our city for our council. People can come and address us in our communities. I don't know if he's supporting any of his council person for that or not. But I'd just like to say I'd like to see him do something to help move our city forward. And I'm not intimidated by him standing here. So I just want to say that's how I think a lot of our citizens feel.
Okay, thank you.
Well, let me say, I have to. No, you only get, no. I get attacked. Don't touch me, don't touch me. Don't put your hands on me. Don't put your hands on me. Get your hands off me. If you touch me, go to your seat. No, I tell you what, put me out.
I will.
All right, force me, put me out.
Why don't you go along with what you said?
These people in this applause is getting ridiculous.
Okay. Moving right along. We're going to move on with the agenda now. City Clerk, do you have any comments?
Yes. On Thursday, May 4th, 2017, there will be a National Day of Prayer and Audience with the King at Inkster Recreational Complex at 2025 Middle Belt Road, Inkster, Michigan. The need is greater than we've ever known. Only God can heal our sick land. And for more information, you can contact Evangelist Savannah Johnson at 734-895-8595. Also, I would like to let the residents know who are in the Romulus School District that August 8th, you will be having an election for a grant proposal. So just be on the lookout for additional information with regards to that. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Treasurer.
You know, recently the council approved 3 contractors to do cleanups around the city, and over the past week or week and a half, we've started the first cleanup sites. Some of the sites that were included in the first cleanup effort were the 4100 block of William Street, the 4400 home located on the 4400 block of Hickory, a lot at Carlisle and Inkster, and a lot at the 3100 block of Ash. So we're starting now to clean up some of the dumping sites across the city, and want to continue to encourage residents to let us know. I want to thank the DPS department as well as police and code enforcement who've been working in earnest on these efforts.
All right, thank you. Councilman Chisholm.
Expected. First of all, I would like to send a congratulations from myself and let everybody know that our state representative, Jewel Jones, graduated from University of Michigan on Sunday with a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science and Business Studies. I would also like to give a thank you in Deandra Watley's absence for all that attended and made donations to the potato fundraiser at St. Clement's this past Saturday. It was a success. So I thank you, and she thank you for the continued support and efforts, because it goes towards children's activity, or youth activities, I should say. And last but not least, I would like to thank all citizens and city officials and police officers who attended my Citizens District Advisory meeting. We did pass out a total of 2,000 flyers with the help of Tammy Starks, Shannon Starks, Deandra Wiley, Councilwoman Wiley, Lawana Abney Mitchell, the Inkster Warriors, my mom, and I forgot who else, but I thank you all. I thank New Birth Baptist Church for having us. We had 30 in attendance, which was real good. It was real informational, and I just appreciate everything everybody has been doing. And that's all I have.
Councilwoman Mitchell.
Good afternoon. No, it's evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. 2 things. I want everyone to know how wonderful our alternative workforce is. Yay! Give them a... And last time we met, I thought that someone else had done some cleaning, but the alternative workforce had done some blight cleaning, and I want them to get recognition for that. I know that the work is hard. That's right. Stand up and take your accolades. It's a wonderful program. It gives people who could serve some time in jail an opportunity to do community service and to be around men who will show them what it means to be a man and how to be responsible. So it's a wonderful program, and I do appreciate the work you do in the city. And I would also like to say that ordinance is on it these days. If I call and say, for example, a car sat for 3 days in my neighborhood. No one touched it, no one moved it. I call ordinance, because you know we can find crazy things in cars. They came and immediately moved it. So I really thank the alternative workforce for the hard work they're doing, and ordinance. Please have confidence in these groups. They're working hard. We have a long way to go because we've been behind, but we're moving forward. And it's very important that you give them your support. The next thing is, on this Saturday, we're celebrating the City of Inkster at the Moulin Rouge Ball. And through the donations of some, I have about 10 tickets that are available for your use. It was requested that they go to senior citizens. So if you know of a senior citizen who would like to come out and have a lovely evening, please let me know, and I will be glad to get their name and expect them at the ball on this coming Saturday afternoon, evening. And that is it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Howard.
I was just wondering, will we be receiving monthly reports like we used to in the past? That was from all department heads?
Yeah, we do.
Including Plant Moran, you know, they should give us a reconcile. Are we going to continue?
Yeah, you haven't been receiving them? Oh, we do them every month. I don't know how that happened.
Because they usually be ran off and put in our mailbox, so I'm not sure if we just doing it on the email. I see some on the email, but like as far as the monthly reports from each department, including Parks and Recs.
Okay. I can make sure that we definitely do them, so I can make sure the copies get to the mailbox.
Okay. As a matter of fact, I've only received one.
Really? We do them every month.
I've seen. We're doing that Go Green. It's supposed to be just.
Yeah, but if you want to pay, I mean, you know.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I've only gotten one email.
I've only gotten one. I haven't gotten it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll make sure you get them, for sure.
All right.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it? Okay. Council. Councilwoman Wiley.
I would like to take this opportunity to apologize to District 3. Recently, they were excluded from the mayor's newsletter that was supposed to go out to all of the residents, but for some unknown reason, District 3 was disenfranchised. Now, Stephen and a group of people, including Ajane Holloway, my daughter, we walked one side of my district from Inkster Road to Princess, which is the east side of from Annapolis all the way up to Michigan Avenue. And because of time constraints, we were unable to do the west side of my district. Now, had this newsletter included the entire city as it was intended by the mayor, they would have been notified of that. Now, as a result of the failure to notify this district, I will be having this same meeting that I had I had last week, again, for the east side, for the west side. And once again, Stephen will be helping me the district to make sure everybody knows that this meeting is to occur. Now, I would think that anyone who works for the city would do what's necessary for all of its inhabitants. And I'm going to see that this does occur. I think that the process was flawed, the implementation was flawed, and I'd like to see that not happen again. That's it.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. First, I'd like to say thank you to Evangelist Cooper for coming in and giving us a prayer in the absence of her husband, Pastor Willie Cooper. And I also like to thank everyone that came out on Saturday to participate in the Inkster Spring Clean. Even though it was sort of cool that day and rained a little bit, but we still get out there. I want to say thank you to the Beautification Committee for putting forth the effort on making sure that we did have a spring clean, and looking forward for the one next month. I noticed there's a lot of young people here in the audience more than usual. I'd like to commend you young people for being here and taking some interest in your community. To the administration, can you let us know when we're going to start the first grass cut?
We just started.
Have we started already? Well, we've been at the spring for a while, so okay. Because the grass is growing awfully fast, and the year before we had a lot of rain, it grew faster. Okay. I had a call from a citizen today, administration again. They got some school buses that's going down Ash Street between Carlisle and I think Andover. And they're wondering if there's no kids in the area, why are there 4 or 5 buses going down residential street where they're not picking up kids? And it's like 7:30 in the morning. So I'm not familiar with district is. Is that Taylor?
No, I mean, it could be Berger Baylor. I mean,
okay.
Got it. They have buses from all the different districts to drop kids off at that school
Okay.
or Carlisle.
Okay, well, guess we need to find out, are they picking up people, because they said the buses are buried in that time of morning, and there's about 5 buses go down Ash Street, but we're looking to it. And my last thing is...
Shop Inkster.
Stop by your local businesses and shop Inkster.
Oh man, it's like a broken record.
It never get old.
Gotta come back with something. Is it all council people?
Yeah, except for me. Oh, sure, I guess.
Mayor Nolan.
I'm going to say shop Inkster and ask when you go in, when have you given back to the city of Inkster? That's where I am. In running, trying to do the Moulin Rouge, we have run into proprietors in the city who make a lot of money, but they turn a deaf ear when you ask them to support. So I'm sorry, Tim, but that's just where I am. If you take it in, you ought to give some back. So ask when you go in. When was the last time you gave back to the city of Inkster? We're not talking about the taxes you pay. Your hard-earned time or some of your money, when did you last donate? To the police department. At Berger Baylor, every evening, they pick up lots of students. It is a hazard the way the buses are parking. When you come out of the side street that I think is Northland, you have to get out in the middle of the street to see if traffic is coming. The school needs to understand that they need a better bus system, because that's a very, very dangerous area there. They're stretched all down Carlisle in front of the school, and any pedestrian could get hit, and definitely cars can get hit, because they have to get out into the middle of the street in order to see who's coming in either direction.
Okay.
Mayor Nolan.
Thank you, Mayor, for allowing me that.
All right, we have Gene Overman asked me to announce, as well as Shirley Shockley, we have a National Day of Prayer, May 4th, this is Thursday at 12 noon. So at 12 noon, stop what you're doing and pray, especially if you're getting ready to eat, like we'll be doing here. So that's the National Day of Prayer. Also, if you've been watching the news, you know we had another shooting this weekend. And I only say that because, not that I don't think about it all the time. We, just to let you know, we are addressing, crime in our community. We were already taking strides. We're meeting with the governor's office in 2 weeks to try to address some of the things that we need from them to do what we need to do. I think everyone understands now. I've been talking to different people. After Detroit went through their bankruptcy, they've had a lot of positive things happen downtown and in Midtown. And if you haven't noticed that the media has kind of took the foot off of them when it comes to crime, but they still love us and some of the other communities. We have to change the narrative. We have to stop crime and trust and believe. We can't talk about everything we're looking to do because that would be telling the criminals what we're going to do. But we have to change the narrative. People walking up people in broad daylight and shooting people. I mean, come on. I mean, this is nuts. And we can't. They should be arrested immediately. I mean, it's broad daylight. And the people who didn't die. So you have to know who shot you. I mean, but it's a lot of crazy things going on, and we just have to be careful because, I mean, that's scary. But we are going to address it, and we're going to deal with it. And as things unfold, as we roll things out, we will keep you aware of it so you'll know what's going on. All right. I don't have anything else, so we're ready to get out of here?
Make a motion for adjournment.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Ms. Elliott, may I see you, please? Yes.